New year, new me. A lazy version of me because I've decided I'm not going to do a skip to start off. I'm going to do a talk in front of the video, ranty, rambling sort of thingy, just to kick off the year. Pretty much, I just felt like talking in front of a camera, not to people obviously, because YouTubers are all lonely, especially on 20 subscribers. Anyway. Point is, I decided I wanted to do like the little podcast sections where like they just take like a little part of the podcast and put it on YouTube. So instead of having to watch like 2 hours, you watch like 10-15 minutes. I figured I'll just do that, but that goes the whole thing for a podcast. It's not so it's like a micro podcast, your little daily dosage of Platonick if you're feeling that. So to start it off, I felt like and the topics, right? There's just gonna be whatever I'm thinking off my mind. Like they could just be actual topics like poverty in Africa, which I haven't got anything on, but just an example, or maybe just something stupid like drinking, like club life, or today's thing, which is going to be about the Star Wars prequels. Yeah, what a great way to start off. I'm just pretty much just gonna talk about my opinion on it and just anything really, just have a conversation with the camera. So, to start off, I watched the prequels just in the last year, which was about a week ago, and when I recorded this, I just felt like watching it after I'd watched PewDiePie's meme review on him. I think it was a meme review, whatever. He made a video on him. And I thought, you know what? I haven't watched the prequels in a while. Why not have a look at them? So I went and I watched them all, and I've come back with a notes page on this because I cannot remember like half the stuff that I wrote, I thought about it, like, bits and pieces. My brain just turns off in front of a camera. Fun stuff. So I watched the prequels in order. Just the prequels. I'm gonna watch the original trilogy. Probably won't do anything. They're, from what I remember, I haven't watched them in a while, actually, the original trilogy. They were, from what I remember, they were pretty good. I mean, no one will shut up about how good they are, but, compared to the sequels and anything else from Star Wars, other than the original, they were probably, diamonds compared to coal. Alright, so, if I was to be like a reviewer, is that the word? Reviewer? I don't know. If I was to be honest, the first two are 2 out of 5 movies, so I just would not recommend anyone watching them. Then the third, Revenge of the Sith, I'd say it's probably a 3 out of 5. Like, it's okay, it's got good moments, it's got good ideas, but it's falling off to the first two, so it's kind of hard to watch them. In all honesty, it's kind of hard to understand, or not really understand what's happening, but it's sort of just like you watch it with all of them. You just watch it and it's like, yeah, that happened. That's alright. Like, I was putting notes into my phone. That's how bored I got halfway through the thing. And I decided to make this video. There's this video being a serious video. Now, I watched them. After watching all the memes and other stuff, like that PewDiePie video, I just could not take half the lines seriously in the book. Like, they're either really boring and dull, or they're like, just like, oh, this meme is just hilarious. Like Revenge of the Sith, when you got the Darth Plagueis the Wise, or like at the end when Obi-Wan and Anakin are showing off and like all the, it's like, you will try and all that. I wasn't trying to act it out. Yeah, I just could not take myself serious. Like, Jesus Christ, this is just, oh. So, if I was to go into each of them, the first one is kind of pointless. It's nothing really much happens other than just introduces, and you could probably done that a lot better if you were just like to start at episode 2, just do flashbacks to when they got Anakin. For whatever reason, they could try it. Like, my main thing with the prequels is that they've got really good ideas in it, but the problem is like it's just executed so badly that people are just like, yeah, it's just terrible films. Like, the execution of them is just absolutely shocking. Like, bad acting, bad writing. I don't think the CGI was that bad, but I don't know, maybe it was just the TV I was on. Or like maybe I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I know there was like one scene in Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan gets like the platform hit on him. You can see him like really move, like just awkwardly, like he slides across like when games, bleh. Like when games glitch out, like they sort of like fail. Like you fail, like you see the guy ski up and then just get up and just keep walking. I've done that really badly. I'll probably put a clip here if I can remember, if I can find something worth it of what I mean. But so yeah, that's pretty much the whole prequels in a nutshell. They're really just meh. Like just, although I wouldn't say that, I'd say like it's annoying because there's so much potential that was there. Like George Lucas, like terrible at executing everything, but like other than the visuals, I'd say. But he just had like such good ideas that just never really flourished. I think because in episode 6, when they were doing it originally, him and after episode 5, him and like his writer, I think, had a blowout or something, or someone like who was responsible for like there was the writing and stuff. I think, I don't know if it was the writer or somebody else like he was working with. They had a blowout. They split off. So because George Lucas was like, oh, I want I don't know when this. Don't quote me on this. This is citation needed. Yeah, that's the word. Pretty much. Here they had a blowout. George Lucas had the rest of the film. Episode 6 it turned out alright. Wasn't as good as number 5. I mean, I haven't watched them in a while, so I might come back to that if I find something worthwhile to talk about. But pretty much the prequels are a lot better. Well, probably suffered because of that, is my point. So yeah, so for episode 1 doesn't need to have a point. Like, it's just really a childish movie. Like, there's not really many adult sort of themes. I guess it's just him trying to move it into like the more serious direction, but I don't know, it falls flat. Other than like Duel of the Fates at the end, there's really nothing going for the film at all. Alright, that's like Jar Jar Binks is just terrible, unless the memes, Darth Plagueis, and all that. Episode 2 for me is sort of like the epitome of everything wrong and right with the whole series. It's just got it's got potential. Like, they just didn't build any like tension throughout the film, and then like the bits that you do, that's just like, yeah, I could be like invested in this, but from before nothing's really happened. Like, it's had good moments, like with Anakin with his mum, there like he finds her with the Sand People's heart, and like after she dies, spoiler alert, everyone flips, like he snaps, kills everyone. And then like you sit afterwards, which is really good. But then straight away afterwards, when he's talking to Padme, it just kills the whole thing because the acting is like pretty weak. Like, and it's Christian Haynes in a like prime, in this like sort of thing. Like, so like also another really bad scene is there's a when Jango Fett talks to Obi-Wan at the start, when they're on Camino, the first time they meet. Like, just that whole conversation is super awkward. It's just, you think of like, are these people actually humans? Like, do they think like us? Like, they're just saying like, oh yeah, they say like one line, another line, another line. Each of these lines also extremely wooden. And so it's just like, why is that? Why is this conversation happening? It's just the most awkward thing. It just puts you right out of the thing, out of the whole thing. And I don't think Ewan McGregor's a bad actor. Like, he's actually, compared to everybody else, is probably one of the top. But like because he has a decent performance with what he's given. I mean, like, he has, I think when he's like, despite all the in general, he's pretty good. Like, his probably worst line was when they go in episode 3, when they go through the security footage, and like Obi-Wan is just like pretty much doesn't react to Anakin killing all the Jedi, and he's just like, okay, oh, I can't. It's like, I can't bear to watch this. Yeah, it's not crying or anything emotionally big. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But other than that, Ewan McGregor is actually pretty good, which is why they need to put a spin-off. Or maybe not, because they'll probably fuck it up, but who knows. But we'd like that. So episode 3 is actually alright. I think, like, out of all of them, like, it's the 3 out of 10. So I was like, I'd say that, yeah, if you want to watch it, like, you're not going to regret it. I wouldn't say go out of your way to watch it, unless you want more background to the original trilogy, which is pretty much the only reason why you'd watch the prequels. Unless, of course, you want to just, like, you know, take a look at all the memes, like, how in context, and just not take it seriously. But, like, Anakin's betrayal, it's like, of the Jedi, has the potential to be really good. Like, I see all the themes where he's got, all these themes of, like, what is it? Yeah, the Jedi, they don't trust me at all. Even though I'm on the Jedi Council, I'm not a master, they don't respect me. I've worked so hard for them. They don't show how hard he's been working unless you watch, like, the Clone Wars series, the animation. If you watch that, then you get a bit more of a sense, but even then, it's, like, really it's got a few of the faults of the prequels still, where it's like, but, you know, it's for kids, so you could say, yeah, it doesn't really need to have much emotional weight, because, you know, it's a kid. But then again, you got the Lion King with Mufasa, so I guess maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright. Yeah, and I think because also why they are able to explore more into it. First of all, because they haven't got the talent to push through it, but also, there's a lot of things happen in the film. Like, Anakin's just, like, all of a sudden he's just pretty much just done with everyone. Like, they do it a bit in episode 2, but it's just really bad, and it's just, like, thrown in because they had to advance the plot. Like, it's kind of like, it's more so like to get Padme to be in love with Anakin, which is done absolutely terribly. It's ridiculously awkward. But it's like, rather than, like, to actually develop Anakin's character, like, it's just to move the plot forward rather than develop characters. But in saying that, like I said, the Anakin and Palpatine bits are pretty good as well. Like, the opera scene, despite, you know, the whole Darth Plagueis thing, it's it really just, it's a really good, like, pacing. And, like, I guess with better actors, and if it had, like, if it did set up better, it would have had a lot more weight to it. Like, the other two, like, first two films, like, they really just kill episode 3, and then episode 3 really doesn't have that much being able to, like, it can't take advantage of anything before, because it relies so heavily because of the plot. So I feel like with the trilogy, it's got a whole part missing that between 2 and 3. You start off, like, before the Clone Wars, at the end of it, like, the Clone Wars begin, right? Then episode 3 happens, like, we're all the way to the end of the Clone Wars, for just no reason, the whole thing just, like, and then for some reason, despite the fact that the Republic, in just one text scroll, the Republic have just started on a good foot with all the clone troopers that just come in, let's save the day on Geonosis, to we're getting absolutely smashed. They're at Coruscant. They've taken the chance of, like, what are we gonna do now? I guess we're just gonna have to save up for the TV. I don't really buy it. I mean, the text scroll doesn't really do a very good explanation of it. Like, you can't really, because it's just supposed to set up that actual film, but it just tries to make up for, like, a whole film, in my opinion. Which in my opinion, I reckon they should have done the trilogy differently. They should have been, like, scrap episode 1, episode 2 should have started just before the Clone Wars as well, like, where it did. Change the story a lot, mostly. Just introduce all the characters, flashback to Anakin, give him, like, a good base, like, just introduce everyone to the characters, and, like, just start showing, like, this is the Senate, what the Senate should be. And then, like, how it, like, slowly all the political players, people start to there's like murmurs already that people are gonna separate. Like there's been controversy. Like in the text, we'll do a bit of like tell us about the controversy at the beginning, or like, and then maybe merge a few things from the first one. Maybe like the Trade Federation at the start, how they like threatened to, they invaded Naboo. Maybe put that as like a little scene, or and then with Anakin, just flash back to his childhood. They did the pod race, or just other bits, or just like other parts of his childhood. There's a new number 2, which is in between two, like current 2 and 3. That should be like its own self-contained plot. You don't want to like have like it just leading on. You don't want to have like with a lot of problems with, was it number 2 out of the trilogy? It hasn't really got a beginning or an end. Like I would put this as like a one situation, like one event that happened, but it like sort of epitomizes the whole thing of the war and like the whole story with Anakin. You see with the start that they're out. I guess I would say like a hostage situation, like on Naboo. Padme's in trouble. Anakin's really emotionally invested. They would have had their, beliefs. They would have started. I guess this would be like a turning point, like they would be in the relationship during this film, but then have sort of established that in the first one that they have something happening between each other. Because it's really weird that however old they're like. There's like 10 years difference between the two. And just like they kind of like each like, well, Anakin, he likes her from like 8 years old, like 8 years old. Like it just seems really weird. Like 8-year-olds don't really even think about girls at all. Neither do girls, but and then for Padme to like say yeah let's go after, even though Anakin's grown up 10 years later. I think he's 18, maybe even if he's like 20 because it's like 10 years old, whatever it is. It's just really weird that they have some sort of thing like from like a 20-year-old to a 30-year-old. No one really talks about that. I don't know many people like go out. 30-year-olds would go out with 20-year-olds. So yeah, Padme's the assassin target. Anakin's gonna protect her, and it just pretty much just plays on Anakin. We focus the whole story about Anakin, show him all his weaknesses. Maybe not even do it on Naboo. Maybe do it on like another. Maybe do it on another planet, and like Padme just happens to be there. So it just sort of shows how badly they're handling the situation. Like it shows, because another problem with all the prequels is that it doesn't show, like it's only very one-dimensional. It's only what happens in the Senate. Like why do the people in the Senate move from the Republic to the Separatists? Why is the Republic failing? We haven't seen what it's like on daily citizens. It's just all about the clone troopers and all the all the Jedi and that. And the droids, just that part. No one really like they explore that in the Clone Wars, but you know it's a kids' film. You can't really, they weren't really aiming to show that sort of part. Like if you were to do a full war movie, like you just wouldn't be able to do it in a cartoon. And I guess you could have like an underlying influence of American politics, like considering like it's really American central. The whole point with it, like no one really trusts or just politics in general. No one really trusts politicians these days. Like in Australia, our prime minister's changed so many times in like the last 10 years. It's ridiculous. Maybe put something like that. Like people just chop and change the chancellor until Palpatine comes in. He's like everyone's super popular, like loves him and he brings peace. Maybe to change him in the second film. Bring him in the second film, and it shows that radical change. Like he comes in the second film, the whole hostage situation just gets cleaned up. And the planet loves him, even though, and then maybe have like a civil war as well in the middle of it, between separatists, loyalists, separatists, and all that. So that's pretty much how I'd fix the prequels. They're like there's a lot of potential with them, but I don't know. There's no real way to fix it, and I wouldn't do them for a while. I mean, they're still trying to fix the sequels after the show that was episode 8. There's just really, Star Wars is in a really weird space right now. Like, besides the original trilogy, it's really nothing there. I mean, the Clone Wars series, like, I've watched as a kid, was alright, it was fun, but, you know, I can't really remember, like, having any, like, impressive sort of episodes. Maybe near the end, like, season 6 they started, but then, like, Lucasfilms just I think they got cut off the whole Clone Wars series. I would do the prequels over finishing it. I wouldn't do the prequels in a while. I'd wait for like the sequels, do a couple of spin-offs, that Obi-Wan movie, please, and then just get that out of the way. So yeah, it's the first mini podcast, which has gone for 20 minutes roughly. As I'm recording, I'm gonna cut out some stuff, some weird stutters and mind blanks. I can't talk and speak at the same time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. You can brag to your friends when I'm more popular later. If I'm more popular later, that I was at like 20 subscribers.